What would you do if the person you loved most was the main reason you doubted yourself? Sometimes, the journey to your biggest win is sparked not by support, but by the pain of being underestimated. The scratch of a pencil and faint whiff of melted wax fill the kitchen, quiet as midnight. I sit at the end of the table, sketchbook open. In the next room, cartoons flicker. My son Charlie giggles, and Bailey's making a rainbow with crayons. But my heart's in this drawing. One more candle design I know I'll have to hide before morning. Mom, what are you drawing? Bailey asks, tilting her head close. I smile at her, moving the sketchbook out of reach. Just something for fun, honey. You working on your storybook? Bailey nods, holding up a page. Yeah, my dragon's shooting hearts tonight. Charlie yawns, dragging a blanket across the linoleum. Mom, what's that smell? He sniffs, nose wrinkling. Is it cookies? I shake my head, trying to sound light. No cookies tonight. It's just the candles, bud. Before I can explain, Peter pushes open the door. He's tired, keys jangling, eyes lost behind a pile of mail. Where's dinner? Sorry, I had 3 calls on the way home. You know how Mondays get. Bailey sets the table with mismatched forks. I slide the sketchbook shut and slip the latest candle into a drawer, hidden again. At dinner, we all settle in, bowls steaming. I hesitate, heart bumping. I was thinking, what if I tried to sell a few candles at the fall fair? They've got an open table for crafts. Peter scoops mashed potatoes, barely pausing. That's nice, Heather, but we've got enough on our plate, don't we? He sets his fork down, his tone gentle but heavy. Craft fairs are fun, but they don't pay the bills. You should focus on work and the kids. This stuff, honestly, it doesn't usually work out anyway. Charlie drops his spoon, frowning at the words. Bailey looks at me, hopeful. I try to steady my voice. It's not about money. I really love doing this. Maybe I could make something of it if I try. Peter gives a soft sigh, shaking his head. You always have big dreams, but life's not so simple. I don't want you getting hurt or disappointed. As he speaks, his hand finds mine, squeezing short and careful. We can't risk anything right now, babe. The table goes quiet. I pick at my food, eyes burning. Bailey and Charlie start whispering about superheroes, and Peter turns to his phone, reading the news. Later, I cleaned up alone. The TV's low, the house dim, but my mind runs loud. Is this it? Is this all I'm allowed to want? I watch my reflection in the window. Hair pulled back, tired circles, hands that fix, comfort, and clean, but still itching to create. I open the kitchen drawer and lift the candle I've hidden. Half finished, sweet and smoky, my best one yet. I breathe it in, and, just for a second, picture a booth with my name on it, people smiling, candles lined up like little victories. But I slide it back in, tucking my hope away. From the other room, Bailey's voice drifts out. Mom, when you grow up, can you do anything you want? I call back softly, tears threatening. I hope so, honey. I hope so. I sit at the table, watching the kids' crayons scatter, wondering if I'll ever be brave enough to let my dreams out for everyone to see. Have you ever wanted something so bad, but were told it wasn't possible, especially by the person you trusted most? Did you keep your dream hidden or let it shine? Share what you would do in the comments. Maybe your story will give someone else the hope to try. I close the sketchbook, wipe my cheeks, and promise myself, maybe tomorrow I'll be bolder. The morning light brushes against the kitchen counter as Heather lines up lunchboxes and checks her phone for the time. Her thoughts swirl with the scent of wax and the drafts of her candle labels sitting on the windowsill. But doubt is heavy in her chest. The echo of Peter's words still close. Bills come first, Heather. Fun stuff has to wait. Peter moves around her, practicing his usual speech about real life. Mortgage due next week. Bailey's shoes getting tight again, and Charlie's field trip fee stuck to the fridge. I told you, work's picking up and we need to stay focused. Maybe next year for the craft fair, okay? His tone isn't cruel, just closed. Like there's no room, no possibility for anything but the ordinary. Heather nods and helps Bailey with her backpack. Bye, Mom, Bailey chirps. Charlie grabs her hand and beams. Can I help pick out candle colors after school? The innocence in his smile gives her a small jolt of hope, but Peter's quiet sigh douses it fast. After the bus pulls away, Heather spends a moment at the kitchen window, fingers tightening around her favorite mug. Erica's quick knock comes with a bright, "You up for a walk? Gorgeous day. Also, I want to talk about craft fairs." Heather shrugs on a jacket as they stroll the chilly sidewalks. Erica cuts straight to the point. I saw the flyer in the library. Booth spaces are still open for the fall market. I think you should do it. There's real excitement in her voice. Heather tries to laugh, but it catches in her throat. Peter's not so sure. He keeps bringing up the budget and how hard it all is. I don't want to drag everyone else into my mess if this doesn't work out. Erica stops, meeting her friend's eyes. You've let his voice get bigger than yours. You always put yourself last. When will you let yourself just go for it? Heather kicks at a crack in the sidewalk and looks away. I don't know. I just remember what his parents said last Easter about my last idea. You're just too soft for sales, Diane told me. Hard not to believe it sometimes. The weekend brings a family brunch at Diane and Joel's home. The table is heavy with eggs and muffins, but the mood is dense. Diane fusses over Peter's schedule and grumbles about all these risky side hustles everyone tries these days. Joel is just as blunt. It's not that we don't support you, Heather. We just think you're built for caring, not hustling. You're happiest when you're helping people, not stressing over receipts. As Peter helps his dad clean up, Heather refills the coffee. She catches Peter's voice float in from the hallway, almost casual, as he speaks to his brother. She means well, but I don't think she's got it in her. It's just a phase. Give it a few weeks and she'll be over it. The words sting more than she expects. Moments flash in her mind. Middle school speech tryouts, where the teacher said, "Some people just aren't meant for the stage." Her first job interview, when someone called her nice, but not a leader. The way each little doubt has gathered, layering in till she started to believe them too. At home, Heather's mood is subdued. She helps with homework and cooks dinner, barely tasting any of it. Erica sends a text. Don't forget, booth deadline is tomorrow. Say yes before you talk yourself out of it. Heather stares at her phone, the cursor blinking in the online sign-up form. Her heart stutters. What if they're all right? What if she fails again, and this time in front of everyone? The night stretches on. Peter falls asleep with the TV humming quietly. The kids' breathing softens behind their bedroom doors. Alone, Heather pulls her most recent candle from its hiding place. Lavender and bergamot, edges still rough. She holds it up, letting the faint glow reflect in the kitchen window. It's not perfect, but it's hers. She whispers into the quiet, "What if I could do this? What if I trusted myself just this once?" She sits down, fills out the registration for the craft fair, and hits submit before fear can pull her back. The flame is small, but she lets it burn. Have you ever chased a big dream your loved ones doubted? Did it stop you or push you harder? How did you hold on to hope, even when all you had was yourself? Share your story below. Your words might be all someone else needs to finally take their own first step. Heather blows out the candle, a gentle smile on her lips. She might be the only one who believes right now, but tonight, that's enough. The hum of laundry tumbles through the house as Heather weighs a jar of lavender wax, her kitchen cluttered with scent samples, lists, and the next day's chores. She watches the clock, stirring wax on the stove and darting between stacks of lunchboxes and a buzzing phone on the counter. The air is sweet, but tension simmers beneath the comfort of these familiar smells. Peter slips into the room, frowning when he finds candle supplies spread across their only workspace. "Watch out," he mutters, grabbing for a mug as he grazes a small jar of melted wax. The glass tips, sending sticky lavender pooling across a fresh kitchen towel. Heather freezes, jaw tight, listening for an apology that doesn't come. Peter just sighs, wiping his hands distractedly on his jeans and focusing on his phone, leaving the mess in a sharp silence in his wake. The wax stain spreads, soaking deep into the bright fabric, another mark added to a collection of small, silent struggles. Heather dabs at it, hands shaking, the towel now striped with the evidence of her mistakes and her husband's avoidance. Bailey appears, crayon smudged on her cheek, holding a half-finished math worksheet. "Mom, why do you look sad?" she asks, voice full of 8-year-old innocence. Heather kneels and hugs her, pressing a kiss to her temple. "Everyone gets nervous when they try something big, sweetie." Her own voice is soft, weighted with truth. "These messes are part of trying. I'm learning." Bailey's eyes are searching, hopeful. Is it because of the fair? Are we still going to have fun like we used to? Heather draws in a long breath. She thinks of all the times she's tried, of every half-finished candle secreted away, of how clean towels now carry color where wax wouldn't come out. She gazes at her hands, remembering a younger version of herself, alone in a dorm room, an art scholarship letter trembling in her hand. In the memory, Peter's voice echoes, steady and practical. "Nursing is steady work, Heather. Art is fun, but it's not real. You need security." The memory sits beside her regret, underscoring years of choosing caution over hope. The present returns. Heather gently smooths Bailey's hair. "We'll make memories, no matter what. Sometimes you have to do scary things, just to see if you can." With the house quiet and her heart heavy, Heather moves back to the kitchen table. She wipes her hands on the wax-stained towel. Another small failure, but also a record of her persistence. The sun pools across her craft fair application. Her pen hovers above the page, voice slightly wobbly as she promises Bailey, "Yes, we'll do it together, even if I'm scared." Heather's thoughts, every mistake, every spill, every doubt, these aren't the end. They're the proof I'm trying, learning, growing. Even when there's no room for mistakes, I have to make space for my own dreams. I want my kids to see that courage doesn't mean you're never scared, just that you do it anyway. The kitchen fills with warm light, wax stains glowing on the towels, each one a mix of disappointment and quiet pride. Heather presses her signature to the application, lifting her chin and letting hope take up just a little more room in her heart. Have you ever tried to move forward with a dream, even when it felt like the people closest to you dismissed your effort? Did you find pride in your mistakes? Or were they hard to forgive? Share your story or advice in the comments. Sometimes, every drop, stain, or failed attempt is just one more page in your eventual victory. Heather's resolve settles as she files the application. The kitchen, both a witness to her setbacks and the birthplace of her next step forward. The day of the craft fair arrives, with bright sunlight filtering through the windows of the community center. Heather's heart pounds with a mixture of excitement and anxiety as she sets up her booth. Rows of tables fill the large hall, each bursting with vendors whose colorful displays and confident chatter create a lively but intimidating atmosphere. Heather arranges her candles carefully, the soft glow from their glass jars meant to invite attention. But as the crowd flows past, she notices most people are drawn to the flashier booths. Laughter and loud conversations bounce around her, often drowning out her quieter pitch. Peter stops by briefly, glancing at the setup with a cool detachment. He doesn't buy anything, instead scrolling on his phone, occasionally giving a nod, but largely distracted. His lack of enthusiasm stings more than the criticism ever would. Bailey, trying to help, nervously hands out printed flyers to passersby. Most people accept politely, but quickly move on. Heather's nerves grow heavier with every ignored flyer. In one tense moment, a jar slips from Heather's hands, shattering on the tile floor. The silence that follows from nearby vendors and visitors makes her cheeks burn with embarrassment. She stoops quickly to clean, but the damage to her confidence is done. Conversations with potential customers are brief and lukewarm. Heather stumbles over her words, self-doubt creeping in with every hesitant "thank you" and polite refusal. The dream that felt bright in her kitchen at night now seems dim and far away. On the drive home, the car is heavy with unspoken tension. Peter breaks the silence, voice flat with a note of confirmation rather than encouragement. "I told you. See how hard it is." Heather's eyes fill, the words crashing down on her hope. Her confidence wavers as the weight of failure presses in. That evening, Heather finds herself at Erica's kitchen table, tears streaming as she shares her hurt. Erica listens, steady and kind, offering a lifeline of reassurance. One bad day isn't failure. You're already stronger than when you started. Erica's words plant a fragile seed of strength. Later that night, scrolling through her phone, Heather notices a message from a stranger complimenting her midnight apples candle and asking to buy more. That small flicker of recognition ignites a new hope within her, a quiet flame that maybe, just maybe, she's on the right path after all. How do you pick yourself up after a public failure? Especially when your own family says, "I told you so." Would you try again or quit for good? Share your experiences in the comments below. It might inspire someone facing their own moment of doubt and resilience. The kitchen table becomes mission control. Candle jars, sticky notes, stray globs of wax, and the constant hum of a laptop. Heather stands with steady hands, pouring a new blend of lavender and cinnamon, listening carefully as Erica replays another YouTube tutorial from a cheerful craft channel. Low heat keeps the scent strongest, Erica says, tapping the spacebar and smiling. And don't stress about being perfect, H. Nobody is at the start. Heather nods, the first flickers of excitement rising inside her. Every batch is a learning curve. Sometimes too much oil, sometimes a wick that won't stay upright. But she's getting better. The failures don't sting as much now. They feel more like steps forward. With Erica's help, Heather finally launches a plain but heartfelt social media page. She posts pictures of her hand-poured jars, candid shots of kids in messy aprons, and, most importantly, raw captions about how much she wants to believe in herself, despite feeling unsupported at home. Hi everyone, I'm Heather. I make candles after my nursing shifts, trying to find courage I thought I'd lost. Every like or order means the world, because I'm learning as I go. If you're nervous to take a risk, you're not alone. The first like comes from Erica. The second is from a stranger with a rose emoji in their name. Then, slowly, there are kind messages. This story feels like my own. I can't wait to try your candles. Midnight apples smell just like my grandma's kitchen. Thank you. Never apologize for chasing your dream. You inspire me. Heather prints out her favorite comment in rainbow fonts, taping it to the fridge with a magnet shaped like a star. Look, Bailey, she says, holding it up. It's my badge of courage. Bailey beams, adding a drawing next to it. Her mom and brother with giant noses, laughing around a mountain of candles. Charlie waddles up, grabs a jar, and sniffs with comic drama. Mom, your candles smell like summer. He claps and dashes off, his bare feet smudging flour on the tile. Orders, small at first, begin to arrive in Heather's inbox. A teacher from Colorado, a high school friend from New Jersey, 2 kind strangers from candle forums. Each note is celebrated with a family cheer, except Peter, who looks up only briefly from his phone. Heather handwrites thank you cards and wraps every box with care, making each shipment feel just as important as a paycheck. Not everyone is thrilled. Peter's compliments grow fewer, replaced with questions about all these shipping costs and side-eye at the hours Heather spends typing replies or browsing candle tips at midnight. When he spots a receipt for another bulk wax order, the lines between his eyebrows deepen. I miss when we just watch TV at night, he mutters as he sorts the overdue bills. Feels like you're always on the computer for this stuff now. Heather doesn't answer, scared that speaking pride will sound like disrespect, afraid her little victories might break the fragile peace. But at home, Bailey and Charlie rally in secret. They scribble notes around Heather's favorite spaces. You rock, Candle Queen, on her bathroom mirror in a dry erase marker. Don't quit, Mom, inside her work bag. Mom's candles smell better than cookies. On the refrigerator in bold, block letters, each note is a spark. Heather strings up a little garland in the hallway for every new order and kind comment, letting her courage decorate the house. Late one Thursday, a notification dings loud enough to earn a glare from Peter. It's an email. A local boutique wants to order 20 candles for their fall display and possibly set up a consignment. The subject line reads, "We'd love to work with you. Midnight Apples is a hit." Heather is breathless, hand on her chest, trying not to laugh and cry at once. Peter walks in at that moment, a frown on his face, overdue bill in hand. He starts to speak, but Heather just looks at him, equal parts hope and fear swirling together, waiting to see which will win this time. Have you ever felt pulled between your dream and your relationships? Do you think doubt can push you forward, or does it just drag you down? Share what tough moments taught you in the comments below. You never know. Your story might be the badge of courage for someone else ready to light their first spark. And as Heather turns off the kitchen light, badge of courage glowing on the fridge, she reminds herself, sometimes the bravest thing you can do is let the right encouragement lead you through the dark. The house wakes to the sound of a carton dropping. Boxes of candle jars and packaging tumble across the entryway, blocking the door. Peter stands in the hall, his shoulders tense, voice cold from worry and a sleepless night. Heather, look at this. He gestures at the mountain of candle supplies and scattered invoices by the door. It's too much. I can barely get out for work, and now the mortgage check has bounced. His tone shakes, anger peeking through his fear. Heather wipes her hands on a wax-stained towel, keeping them steady. I didn't plan for the check, Peter. The shop just paid a few days late. Peter interrupts. That's the thing. We can't live by luck, Heather. We have real bills, real kids. Are you putting these candles ahead of us? Heather's lips pressed tight, shoulders curled in. I just want one thing that's mine. I want to make something good, not just be the careful one all the time. Peter's eyes flash hurt. But what if you lose all we've been building just to chase a dream? His words hang between them, heavy as the boxes blocking their way. Heather's hands feel numb, her chest hollowed out by the need to defend herself in her own home. Do you think I don't care? Or don't know what's at stake? You act like everything is so simple. All I am is risk and trouble to you now. Peter's voice drops, unsteady. I'm scared, Heather. You want to change everything, and I'm just trying to keep us safe. She folds a towel on the table, focusing on each crease. I'm scared too. I'm scared I'll lose every part of myself by standing still for the rest of my life. There's a long silence as the argument spins out, both afraid to say the last thing on their minds. Tears streak Heather's face. The quiet is broken by a small, hesitant voice from the stairs. Bailey stands barefoot, her hair in loose braids, hugging a stuffed bunny. Mom, she says, then hugs Heather around the waist. I think you're brave. Heather's heart stutters at the honesty of her daughter's words. She pulls Bailey in tighter, pressing her cheek to soft hair. I'm trying to be, she whispers. Peter stands, rubbing his eyes, voice gentler now. Sometimes it feels like if we don't do everything just right, it'll all fall apart. They all stand in the kitchen, the air tired and raw. Bailey holds tight to her mom, and Peter just watches, eyes clouded with doubt and love. That night, the house was thick with unspoken words. Heather stares at her shipment, her phone lighting up with the latest sale on her website. She scrolls through old texts, Peter's worries, Erica's encouragement, and almost cancels the order. Erica's voice rings clear in her mind. Don't let approval be your finish line. You're fighting for yourself. That's something to be proud of, Heather. Heather dials Erica's number, her voice shaky when Erica picks up. I don't know if I can keep doing this. What if it ruins my marriage? Erica is quiet, then firm. You deserve to fight for something that lights you up. It's not just about Peter. It's about you, too. Don't let his fear make you shrink. Heather listens, holding the shipping tape, her doubts on the counter with the labels. I want his support, but maybe I want more of my own more. He'll catch up, Erica says. No one's proud at first when someone rocks the boat, but sometimes you have to make the waves before anyone sees the shore. Heather hangs up, breath deep and shaky. In the stillness, she wraps each candle carefully, labeling her largest order yet. A message blinks in. Sonia Madison from the local boutique writes, "Let's talk partnership. I love your courage as much as your candles." Heather walks to the mailbox in the cool, dark air, hands trembling with fear and hope. The package thuds inside. She stands still, feeling the moment shift, terrified, but proud. Have you ever fought for your dream, even when it risked everything important? Would you keep going, or let it go for the sake of peace? If you were in Heather's shoes, what would you do? Share your thoughts in the comments. Sometimes the hardest choices lead to the brightest victories. Heather returns, closing the door with a quiet, determined click. The mess is still there, but for the first time, hope cuts through the fear. A new chapter is ready to begin. The kitchen buzzes with the sounds of baking and soft laughter. Heather stands by the counter, wiping flour from her hands, as Bailey and Erica carefully arrange warm cookies on a plate. Every few minutes, Heather paces to the window, anxiety twisting in her chest about tomorrow's televised business segment. The moment feels too big, too public, her earlier failure at the craft fair looming large in her mind. Bailey nudges her with a shy grin. "Mom, you gotta do this. Everyone will love your candles. You've come so far." Erica scoops up a batch of cookies and meets Heather's worried gaze. "She's ready, Heather. It's okay to be scared, but you're not alone. We've got your back all the way." Heather sinks onto a chair, shoulders sagging. "I don't know if I can handle the cameras and questions. What if I fail again? What if nobody cares?" Bailey clutches one of her mom's practice candles. "Even if you mess up, you'll still be my hero. Promise." The oven timer dings. Heather forces a weak smile and takes a steadying breath, the kitchen filled with the scent of vanilla and hope. From the hallway, the front door creaks open. Peter enters, hesitating, phone clutched in his hands. He looks different, softer, searching. He clears his throat and walks slowly toward Heather. "Heather, I got a message from your dad. He said he's proud of how hard you work and that he wishes he'd believed in you sooner," Peter says awkwardly. He glances down, voice trembling. I've been wrong too. I thought protecting you meant holding you back, but I'm scared to lose you, scared of change. I want to be here for you this time, not against you." Heather's eyes fill. She never expected to hear those words. She reaches for his hand, voice shaking, but clear. "I want to do this for me, but I need you beside me. I want us to try again, together. We can both be brave." Peter nods, relief and nerves warring on his face. "I'm in. No more holding you back." The next morning, with nerves calmer but still fluttering, Peter quietly takes Heather's very first finished candle from the kitchen shelf. At work, he places it on his desk, front and center. When his co-worker asks, "What's with the candle?" Peter finally grins, proud. "My wife made that. Best story I know. Ask me sometime." That night, the Landry family gathers around the dinner table. A stack of note cards, a plate of cookies, and 3 nervous hearts fill the space. Bailey reads a reporter card. "Mrs. Landry, where did you get the idea for midnight apples?" Charlie raises his hand. "Mom, tell them it smells like summer." Heather laughs, confidence shining through. "It started with making my kids happier, and then doing something brave. Just for me." Erica claps in mock applause as Peter chimes in, reading practice questions and sneaking supportive side glances Heather's way. The laughter grows, nerves fading as they cheer each other on through silly answers and gentle corrections. By the end of the evening, hope is as warm and real in the kitchen as the candles Heather lights on the table. The family practices until they're giggling, not dreading the big day ahead. Laughter floats through the house, replacing old tension with the brightness of belief. Heather's, yes, but Peter's, and the kids, too. In the glow of lamplight, Heather smiles to herself. Win or lose, tomorrow she does not stand alone. Have you ever been terrified to take a leap, but someone's support, no matter how late, gave you the strength you needed? What made you finally say yes to your own dream? Share your turning point in the comments. Your voice might help another dreamer take their first step toward the light. Spotlights glare softly over rows of crafts. The air buzzes with friendly chatter, and the scent of warm apples and vanilla fills the community center. Heather stands behind her candle table, hands shaking at first. But with every curious smile, her nervousness fades. A local reporter leans in, microphone ready, as Sonia, the boutique owner, waves at the camera. Heather takes a deep breath as the interview begins. "Why did you start your business?" the reporter asks, voice gentle. Heather glances at her family in the crowd. Bailey waving, Charlie bouncing in his seat, Peter, front row, sitting tall in a t-shirt that reads, "Proud Candle Husband." She smiles, more confident now. "I started this because I needed to prove to myself that I could. I wanted to show my kids that dreams aren't silly if you work for them." The crowd claps, some people nodding in quiet agreement. Sonia steps up, announcing, "We're thrilled to share that for every candle sold today, we're donating part of the profits to the Children's Hospital, and we're inviting Heather to partner long-term." The room erupts in cheers. Bailey covers her mouth, eyes lighting up, and Peter's proud smile fills Heather with a joy she's never felt before. From the edge of the crowd, Diane and Joel slowly step forward. Diane hugs Heather, awkwardly but earnestly. "We were wrong, sweetheart," she says. "You proved us all wrong, and I'm so glad you did." Joel shakes his head with a small laugh. "You've got more grit than any of us ever knew, Heather. We're proud of you." For the first time, Heather feels fully seen. Her kids race up, hugging her tight. "You did it, Mom!" Bailey yells, jumping with excitement. Even Charlie announces, "Mom's famous now." Peter stands close, holding a box of orders. "We'd better get packing, boss," he teases, "or we'll miss bedtime." His voice rings with genuine pride. He helps Heather gather candles, popping the lid on each box with careful hands. The Proud Candle Husband shirt sits a little crooked, but he wears it like armor. That night, the kitchen is lit by the soft shadows of packing tape and stacks of candle jars. Peter reads off addresses, the kids draw stickers for each order, and Heather sits at the center, her laughter light and real. She narrates in a quiet voice as the camera pans over gentle faces around the table. Winning wasn't really about the sales or the applause or changing anyone's mind. It was about finally believing I could do something hard and letting my family believe in me too. I didn't need to win to prove anyone wrong. I just needed to prove to myself that I was strong enough to try. Music hums in the background as Peter squeezes her shoulder, and Bailey proudly lines up boxes for the morning. Diane and Joel's note sits taped to the fridge with a drawing from Charlie. "Mom is our light." Before bed, Heather lights a midnight apples candle on the coffee table. The whole family gathers, leaning in to watch the flame. The room glows golden, full of hope, laughter, and the messy, beautiful moments that come after the hard times. Have you ever surprised the people who doubted you? What made you keep going? And did it change your relationship? Share your story below. Your courage might help someone else light their very first spark. As one night ends and another begins, the camera lingers on the candle's flicker. A small, proud light in a house finally filled with belief and love. If Heather's journey inspired you, take a moment to ask yourself, have you ever chased your dream when others didn't believe in you? Did you push forward, or did you have to find your own courage first? Share your story in the comments. Your experience might be exactly what someone else needs to hear before they take their first brave step. If you believe that small steps and believing in yourself can change everything, don't forget to like, share, and follow for more true stories about hope, courage, and what happens when you finally let your light shine. Remember, sometimes the proudest moments start when you believe in yourself, even before anyone else does.